2018 Ford Focus RS Review. The good points of Ford Focus RS: staggeringly fast, incredible handling, strong resale values. The bad points of Ford Focus RS: design is available to an RS. Cabin may be more interesting. Smaller boot than Focus Street. Britain is filled fast Ford fans, and a lot absolutely covet the RS brand. Since the 60s, the two letters have signified the most beneficial production road cars the blue oval will offer, and have adorned probably the most revered cars in automotive history. Who can forget about the Whaletail Boasting Sierra and Escort RS Cosworths? The rally romping Escort RS 2000. These are now true classic cars, and used values reflect it. We ran one for any month. Watch more here. Rivals are numerous and varied. So it's with mighty background massive enthusiasts fanfare to cope with. We travelled to Valencia, Spain, for your first go inside the 2016 Ford Focus RS on the streets and for the racetrack. It's took its work cut down to take around the Mercedes-AMG A45, Audi RS3, Honda Civic Type A, Volkswagen Golf R and Renault Sport Megane. Its basic recipe looks promising, having a tuned 2.3-litre engine borrowed through the latest Mustang, meaning ease of 0-62 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds and 165 miles per hour, whilst the clever all-wheel drive system AWD, a first for just a Focus RS, which up to now has always been front-wheel drive only, building a drift mode plausible. Tail out antics ahoy, then. Who do you consider you are? Ken Block? Actually, it's funny you must mention that. The YouTube star was consulted for the development of this RS, and it's his influence which makes power sliding possible whether or not you've never completed it before. The remarkable thing is this fact is one seriously capable car using a circuit too, while using track settings, stiffening the two-stage adaptive suspension dramatically and altering the AWD system along with all the steering weighting, throttle response, traction control and engine noise. Even while traveling, there's a setting above normal that creates the RS a lot more playful. Sport mode does the many above, but devoid of the comfort penalty of switching those dampers on their most aggressive setting. Focus RS is provided for enthusiasts. While the cabin doesn't look particularly inspiring, it's nearly the same as a Focus ST. We found the special Recaro seats for being brilliant. But many customers are supposed to upgrade those to racer-style items instead. In fact, lots of pre-ordered Focus RSs include almost every option ticked. That isn't a large amount, but such things as lighter forged wheels, stickier tires along with the luxury pack explained here are actually carefully selected by Ford to interest the sort of enthusiast who values might be found. Ford RS designs include strong resale values. There are just 5 color options, but Ford expects the overwhelming majority to accept launch color, nitrous blue. Still, in case you pick every option available, you're only adding a small number of the car's value. For that you'll have a car that'll comprehensively outhandle anything in the class and go quicker than most, too. Considering the incredibly strong residual values the RS brand enjoys, it'll generate a fantastic buy or maybe a great value lease. Should I buy one? If you're inside the market for the car such as this, and wish something livelier when compared to a Golf R, more usable than the usual Civic Type A and less than an A45 or a S3, yes. It's hilariously good they are driving. The new Ford Focus RS is compared to in more detail. Watch on for your full review. It's fair to state the performance on the Ford Focus RS is mind-bending. It utilizes a 2.3-litre, 4-cylinder engine on the firm's iconic Mustang, but retuned to provide 345 bhp and 440 Nm of torque, available between 2,000 revolutions per minute and 4,500 revolutions per minute, although torque figure swells to 470 Nm while from the 18-second overboost function upon initial acceleration. In relation to raw data, that compatible are 0.62 miles per hour sprint in 4.7 seconds. That has a top speed of 165 miles per hour. Nothing else only at that price point can match these figures, and you'll pay an important amount more to get over it. You'll need secrets of the Mercedes-Benz A45 AMG or Audi's RS3 Sportback to the launch control for road-ripping takeoff. To hit 62 miles per hour you'd like the Focus RS should go means while using launch control system, which may be found within the trip computer menus by while using controls for the steering wheel. It's best saved for off-road use really though, since it takes a little long to engage for many traffic light Grand Prix situations. Once you've selected launch control, it's just a case of standing around the accelerator and releasing the clutch quickly once you've accumulated turbo boost handily displayed on one on the 3 gauges sat over the sat-nav screen. Focus RS sounds sensational. On the path the power delivery is savage, and much better still with all the driving modes tweaked, permitting the flap within the specially tuned exhaust to spread out, eliciting pops and bangs on the twin tailpipes that can't are not able to make you smile. There's a touch of synthesized noise. It uses exactly the same system because Focus ST for your, but usually there is genuine engine sound included. The 2 Sport, Track and Drift modes permit the exhaust to sing to its full potential, and noticeably sharpen up throttle response too. In fact, it sounds a little like the prior model in this it reminds you of any 5-cylinder burble. There isn't much within the way of whooshing turbocharger noise, though, like rivals. We reckon this simply adds more character. We found the gear change to get good too. It isn't as pleasing operating as a Mazda MX-5's, having a longer throw and better vague operation. Nonetheless it does the work perfectly well. We're just pleased for being presented it as a performance car without automatic option for just a change. They way too rare nowadays. Hold on tight. The Focus RS comes with innovative all-wheel drive AWD system which could send around 70% of accessible torque for the rear axle, and 100 pc of that torque exclusively to a single side from the car. It uses electronic clutch packs to measure the torque extremely accurately, while using car computing the actual required mix at a rate of 100 times per second. Torque vectoring and steering. Much like Fiesta Street, it utilizes a torque vectoring system in partnership with all the AWD tech, which uses the brakes to subtly tighten the Focus's line when asked, eliminating understeer leading and washing wide after you've gone too soon into a corner and improving agility. There's a fixed rated steering system installed too, that offers predictable and feelsome steering unrivaled within the sector. The torque vectoring and steering offer a similar experience systems to the people found about the brilliant Fiesta Street, but seems all of the more impressive here because of everything else at your workplace. Ford spent a couple of years getting these functions working together, and believe us, it shows. Driving modes for road and track. What creates this change mean? It means that while rolling around in its normal driving mode the RS is astonishingly grippy but relatively safe and benign. It's possible turn over to a tail-happy drift king for the push of any button. In fact, you've got 3 handling modes available if normal doesn't get it done for you, but 2 are strictly for off-road. Don't use anything but, with a racetrack, basically. The most entertaining setup for the street is Sport, which switches the AWD system to some more entertaining configuration and adds to your steering weighting. If you're out using a track day and require to go fast, the track may be the setting for you personally. This stiffens the dampers with a huge 40%, driving them to quite probably unsuitable for UK roads anyway, because make no mistake, that is a firm car with the best of times. It'll be interesting to discover how it fares back throughout Britain. The Focus RS as well as its drift mode. Finally, there's the industry-first drift mode. Inspired by YouTube sensation Ken Block, this lets you indulge from the sort of tail-out antics usually only achievable on the rear-wheel drive performance car. It retains the traction control but backs it off into a wide slip mode, letting you kick the trunk end out, after which maintain the slide on account of fancy configuration on the AWD system. Doing so has a different technique to your rear-driven car. You retain your foot planted around the floor if the slide starts as an alternative to backing away and off to balance the skid. However, the end result is precisely the same. You'll be laughing such as a hyena and going to the tire shop regularly. That's unless it's wet, whereby you're simply planning to have an amazing level of fun. Choice of terrific tires. And while we're about the subject of tires, there's a few to choose from. They're both made by Michelin specifically to the RS and measure 19 inches in diameter, and you've got the standard Michelin Pilot Super Sports or Ultra Sticky and Ultra Expensive Pilot Sport Cup 2. That can sound familiar when you've ever looked closely in the specifications of high-spec Porsche sport cars just like the 911 GT3 RS. These are just available together with the optional forged alloy wheels, plus more suited to track driving than everyday use because they're faster but less capable to deal with rain or snow. We'd keep away from drift mode with your fitted, unless you're from the habit of setting fire to armfuls of greenbacks. Brilliant brakes and impressive aerodynamics. Hidden behind each group of 19-inch alloys are a number of large Brembo brakes that perform perfectly indeed. They're made for heavy track use but aren't too aggressive for the highway either, striking a great balance between progressive application and outright stopping force. While the outdoors styling perhaps isn't as garish as the earlier two RS Focuses, it's worth noting that each and every single part is there for just a reason. The front bumper design, rear roof spoiler and diffuser between exhaust pipes all help this car feel amazingly stable at top speed because their family interaction to make Focus perfectly balanced at either end. Of course, with performance is good, there ought to be at least one drawback, plus this case it's a timely Ford trait, the turning circle is big. You'll discover yourself to be having to generate 5-point turns when 3 can do in other cars. However, it'll be worth their cost once you're moving again. Ford has spent a large amount of money developing the Focus RS, nevertheless, you'll notice not much when you're sat within the cabin. In fact, when it wasn't to the extra gauges and the like, you wouldn't get idea you went driving of something so special. The seats really are a strong indication of performance potential, and they're very supportive indeed. There's some blue stitching around the steering wheel to remind you what you've covered, but the rest carries over directly from your Focus Street. While that may seem just like a shame, particularly if looking for the cabin on the Audi RS3, it's worth remembering where Ford's priorities lie here. This car is around driving, along with the crucial bits wherever they need being, even using a regular Focus. We were particularly impressed with all the layout from the pedals, which might be wonderfully spaced should you want to make use of advanced driving strategies to match the engine's revs for your road speed when changing gear. In sport mode you'll get some good neat bangs through the exhaust after you do so, and it's difficult never to like that. The very first thing to note is this fact is unashamedly a sports-focused Focus. The low-profile tyres and stiff suspension are likely to make the bumpy progress from the UK, but a majority of owners will tolerate it with the sheer performance available here. Just keep the above-stage dampers out of their stiffer mode because on many British roads that's likely to produce the RS an actual unruly animal. We love the typical seats, though. They're beautifully finished and supportive, albeit sitting slightly higher up than I was expecting. Less comfortable, and in many cases higher on initial test, were the optional Recaro racing seats, but alas they've proven well liked by those who have ordered your vehicle so far. Clearly such customers have performance driving planned. It isn't a nice car either, even during normal mode, but this can be a 345 bhp superhatch. They're supposed for being noisy. There's just one single trim level in RS specification, and you also get the choice of a number of optional extras to help personalize your car or truck, most of which have proven very liked by those who've pre-ordered their fast Focus. Standard Ford Focus RS equipment. Since this can be a performance car, let's start while using driving kit. The 2.3-litre engine, 6-speed manual gearbox and all-wheel drive are standard, and gratification can be optimized using a launch control system that allows the vehicle to take off inside the quickest possible manner. The suspension dampers use a dual mode operation, switching coming from a stiffer, sportier setting as well as a more comfortable configuration. You get 4 preset drive modes, normal, sport, track or drift, that are explained inside performance and handling sections. There's a shift light to express to you the perfect time to change gear and 350mm Brembo brakes to slow the automobile back down again. A number of 19-inch lightweight alloy wheels are included, as well as special Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires developed for use while using RS. The front-end sports Vixen and head cornering headlights which first turn on automatically in the event the car senses dusk is approaching, along having a quick clear windscreen with automatic wipers and heated washer jets, while there's a set of exhaust tailpipes on the rear. Inside your vehicle there's a group of Recaro front seats with leather bolstering, dual zone climate control, keyless entry, tire pressure monitoring, plus some extra gauges for assorted engine parameters, for example turbocharger boost pressure, oil pressure and oil temperature. You go for Ford's Sync 2 multimedia system, which features an 8-inch touch screen, DAB radio, voice control and 9 Sony speakers. Optional Ford Focus RS accessories. Among the choices proving well liked by customer who pre-ordered their RS are definitely the luxury pack folding door mirrors, rear parking sensors, cruise control and tinted rear windows, and Recaro shell front seats, who have more of an motorsport feel than the common units. You can pick a group of black forged lightweight alloys also in 19-inch diameter, a list of high-performance Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires and many blue brake calipers. The Sync 2 system could be upgraded with sat-nav, a reversing camera and also a 10-speaker stereo, while automatic low-speed braking, automatic door edge protectors plus an electric tilt and slide sunroof complete the additional kit you might order. Colors available include black, white and blue. Again, not really a huge change here in the Focus. Street safety is improved with the AWD system, which suggests the RS has much more traction compared to a front-wheel drive car, so it'll be capable in slippery conditions. Vixen and head cornering headlights are included totally free, which work incredibly well, and there's a low-speed automatic foot brake available, being an optional extra. Also readily available for extra cost will be the luxury pack, which nets you further safety systems from the form of rear parking sensors, cruise control and rear privacy glass. In comparison to its practicality, about the Focus RS just about everything is precisely the same as the Street, but usually because on the extra driver train features within the rear axle you lose the spare wheel well in favor of your tire inflation kit, so boot space drops with a maximum of 260 liters. This expands to at least 1,045 liters using the rear seats folded.